Australia, is it a country or a continent? Let's dive in and find out. G'day mates, I'm Jake, your world-weary Aussie tour guide here, and it's time for another episode of Should I Go, your channel for destination decisions. This time I'm doing something special and very near and dear to my heart, heading to my homeland of Australia. It's a place of jaw-dropping landscapes, world-famous cities, and some of the wildest wildlife on Earth. But is it a country or a continent? Or both? It's both. But this confusion typifies the issues with self-identity Australia has struggled with for years. We are so isolated halfway around the world that it's easy sometimes to question your place in it. But we Aussies love to travel, and are often, along with the Dutch, some of the most well-traveled people you will ever meet. How many countries have I been to so far? 147 and counting. And yes, hopefully I will do videos on all these places. But for now I will explore all the things I love about my country continent of Australia, from the cities, to the outback, to the indigenous peoples, to the out-of-this-world and sometimes dangerous wildlife, to the best beaches to surf and more. Come along for a native's view of Australia, and stick around to the end of this video and leave a comment down below. Ready to take your flight down under? Let's go. Let's start with a bit of history. Australia is both a country and a continent, the only one in the world that holds that unique title. Before European settlers arrived in 1788, Australia was home to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who have the longest continuous culture on Earth, dating back over 60,000 years. These incredible communities lived in harmony with the land, utilizing complex knowledge systems for hunting, agriculture, and navigation. They had a deep spiritual connection to their environment, with each region and landscape holding special significance. Their stories, known as Dreamtime or the Dreaming, explain the creation of the world and are passed down through intricate oral traditions, songlines, and rock art. Some of these sacred sites still exist today, such as Uluru and Kakadu National Park, which feature ancient rock paintings that date back thousands of years. Then came the British, who established Australia as a penal colony in 1788 under the First Fleet, led by Captain Arthur Phillip. Over 162,000 convicts were transported to Australia over the next 80 years, building the foundations of many of the country's major cities. But their arrival had devastating consequences for the indigenous population. Disease, displacement, and conflict drastically reduced their numbers. Despite this, Indigenous Australians have shown incredible resilience, fighting for their rights and recognition in modern Australia. Today, there is a growing movement towards reconciliation, with efforts to preserve Aboriginal culture, recognize land rights, and acknowledge the injustices of the past. Australia evolved from its colonial beginnings into a federation in 1901, officially gaining nationhood while still maintaining ties to the British Crown. Over the 20th century, waves of immigration from Europe, Asia, and beyond helped shape Australia into the diverse, multicultural country it is today. Though the past is complex, Australians continue to work towards unity, learning from history while embracing the future. If you love the city life, Australia has you covered. Let's start with Sydney, the country's largest and most iconic city. It's home to the world-famous Sydney Opera House, with its sail-like design making it one of the most recognizable structures on the planet. Just next door is the Harbour Bridge, affectionately known as the Coat Hanger, where adventurous visitors can climb to the top for stunning views. Sydney boasts a buzzing food scene, high-end shopping, and vibrant nightlife, and you can't visit without checking out Bondi Beach, famous for its golden sands and world-class surf. Beyond the city, the Blue Mountains offer breathtaking natural escapes just a short drive away. Now, let's talk about Melbourne. Often hailed as Australia's cultural capital, this city is a paradise for creatives and coffee lovers. Melbourne's laneways are covered in incredible street art, with hidden cafes and bars tucked away in every corner. The city thrives on live music, art festivals, and sporting events like the Australian Open and the Melbourne Cup. And let's not forget the coffee. Melbourne takes its coffee culture seriously, with some of the best baristas in the world calling it home. The Yarra River runs through the city, offering scenic views, while St Kilda Beach is a hotspot for sunset lovers and penguin watchers alike. Heading up north, we've got Brisbane, or Brissy, as we Aussies call it. This city is sunny, laid back, and sits on the banks of the winding Brisbane River. It's got a thriving arts and dining scene, plus it's just a stone's throw from the Gold Coast, famous for its golden beaches, theme parks, and nightlife. Brisbane is also a gateway to Queensland's natural wonders, including the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree Rainforest, making it the perfect base for adventure seekers. And then there's Perth, the capital of Western Australia, and one of the most remote major cities in the world. But don't let that fool you. Perth has some of the best beaches in Australia, stunning parks like Kings Park, and a booming food and wine scene. Rottnest Island, just a short ferry ride away, is home to the adorable quokka, a small marsupial known for its photogenic smile. Perth's relaxed vibe and stunning coastal landscapes make it a hidden gem worth exploring. Are you loving the Aussie adventure so far? If you're enjoying this journey through the land down under, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment below. Tell me, what's your favorite thing about Australia? The wildlife, the beaches, the food. Let me know and stay tuned for more epic travel guides. Back to the video. But if you want to see the real wild side of Australia, you have to visit the Outback. This vast remote region covers most of the country and is home to some of the most awe-inspiring landscapes on the planet. The Outback is a place of extremes, scorching hot days, freezing nights, and endless horizons of red desert stretching as far as the eye can see. It's a land shaped by time, where deep gorges, ancient rock formations, and hidden waterholes tell stories millions of years in the making. One of the most famous landmarks in the Outback is Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. This massive sandstone monolith is a sacred site for the Anangu people, and its color seems to shift with the changing light of the day, glowing an intense red at sunset. But Uluru is just the beginning. There's also Kata Chuta, a series of giant rock domes nearby, and Kings Canyon, where towering cliffs overlook deep palm-filled valleys. Further north, the Kimberley region is a treasure trove of waterfalls, gorges, and rugged beauty, while the Simpson Desert offers the quintessential outback experience, vast, empty, and humbling. And speaking of wild, our wildlife is next level. Australia is home to some of the most unique and bizarre creatures on Earth. You'll see kangaroos bounding across the plains, emus sprinting through the bush, and koalas lazily perched in eucalyptus trees. Dingoes, Australia's wild dogs, roam the outback, while wombats burrow deep into the earth. But let's not forget the dangers. This is a land where saltwater crocodiles lurk in tropical rivers, venomous snakes slither through the undergrowth, and some of the world's most infamous spiders call home. And don't even get me started on the cassowary, a giant, prehistoric-looking bird with dagger-like claws. But don't worry, most wildlife will leave you alone if you leave them alone. What's Aussie food like? Well, let's just say we know how to eat well. Australia's food culture is a mix of influences from indigenous traditions, British roots, and waves of immigration that have added flavors from all over the world. But one thing's for sure, we love a good barbie. That's a barbecue, by the way. Whether it's sizzling snags, sausages, juicy steaks, or fresh seafood like prawns and barramundi, Australians take outdoor grilling very seriously. And if you ever hear someone say, "throw another shrimp on the barbie," just know we actually call them prawns, not shrimp. Then there's the national icon Vegemite. This dark, salty spread is made from yeast extract and is packed with B vitamins. But be warned, it's an acquired taste. The trick is to spread it thinly on buttered toast, not slather it on like peanut butter. If you prefer something sweeter, Tim Tams are the go-to treat. These chocolate-coated biscuits are perfect for dunking in a hot cup of coffee. And speaking of coffee, Melbourne is world famous for it. Aussies are coffee snobs in the best way possible, and our flat whites and long blacks are among the best you'll ever taste. For something uniquely Aussie, try a meat pie. It's basically a handheld pastry filled with savory mince and gravy, best enjoyed at a local footy match. And let's not forget the influence of indigenous Australian cuisine, known as bush tucker. Ingredients like kangaroo, emu, finger limes, and wattle seed have been used in cooking for thousands of years and are making a comeback in modern Australian cuisine. Whether you're eating fresh oysters on the coast, indulging in a hearty pub meal, or sampling native flavors, Australia has something to satisfy every craving. Australia is a democracy, with a parliamentary system similar to the UK. Our government operates under a constitutional monarchy, meaning we recognize the British monarch as the head of state, represented by the Governor-General. However, our political landscape is distinctly Australian, shaped by our unique history, values, and a laid-back, yet opinionated electorate. We have two major parties, the Australian Labor Party and the Liberal Party of Australia, with the Nationals often forming coalitions. Elections are held every 3 years, and voting is compulsory, meaning Aussies have to show up at the polls or risk a fine. It's all part of our commitment to democracy and civic duty. Beyond politics, Australia is a country of contrasts. We're known for being pretty relaxed, but don't be fooled. When it comes to sports, business, and global influence, Aussies are fiercely competitive. We thrive on a good challenge, whether it's winning Olympic gold, excelling in science and innovation, or dominating international sporting events. And speaking of sports, cricket, rugby, and Aussie rules football, better known as AFL, are practically religions here. Every summer, the Boxing Day Test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground draws massive crowds, and the AFL Grand Final is one of the most watched events in the country. But sport is just one part of our identity. The real heart of Australia is its people. Aussies are known for their friendliness, sense of humour, and love of storytelling. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and we're always up for a yarn. That's a chat, by the way. You'll find us striking up conversations with strangers at the local pub, swapping travel stories at a barbecue, or cracking jokes in just about any situation. We have a unique brand of humour, dry, self-deprecating, and a little cheeky, but always good-natured. Mateship is a core value here, helping a mate in need, sticking together through tough times, and looking out for each other is deeply ingrained in our culture. It's this spirit of camaraderie that makes Australia one of the most welcoming places in the world. Australia has had a massive impact on pop culture, and our contributions to film, music, and entertainment are recognized worldwide. Remember Paul Hogan in Crocodile Dundee? That's not a knife, this is a knife, classic. That film put Australia on the Hollywood map, showcasing our rugged outback and laconic humor to the world. And let's not forget Mad Max, starring Mel Gibson, which became a global phenomenon and set the standard for action films. When it comes to music, Australia has produced some of the most legendary acts in history. Men at Work's Down Under is basically Australia's unofficial anthem, with its catchy tune and lyrics that capture the Aussie spirit. Then there's rock royalty AC/DC, who defined hard rock with anthems like Thunderstruck and Highway to Hell. If pop is more your style, Kylie Minogue, Australia's Princess of Pop, has been a global icon for decades. And we can't talk about Aussie music without mentioning INXS, whose electrifying performances and classic hits like Need You Tonight made them international stars. And then there's Steve Irwin, the late great crocodile hunter, who made wildlife conservation exciting and accessible to millions. His catchphrase, "Crikey," became iconic, and his passion for Australian wildlife lives on through his family and Australia's zoo. But Australia's entertainment industry isn't just about nostalgia. We continue to produce top-tier talent, from actors like Margot Robbie, Hugh Jackman, and Cate Blanchett, to filmmakers like Baz Luhrmann. Our theatre scene is thriving, with the Sydney Theatre Company producing world-class performances, and our indie music scene is bursting with fresh talent playing in Melbourne's laneways and Sydney's live venues. Whether it's blockbuster films, chart-topping music, or groundbreaking theatre, Australia punches well above its weight in the entertainment world. We have a knack for storytelling, a love of performance, and an unmistakable Aussie charm that keeps audiences coming back for more. And there you have it. That was Jake's Australia, my Australia. Did it thrill you like it does me every time I go home? Let me know in the comments. So should you go to Australia? Absolutely, mates. You are all invited. Whether it's the cities, the outback, the beaches, the wildlife, or the people, there's something for anyone here down under. Pack your bags, grab your sunnies, that's sunglasses, and get ready for an unforgettable adventure in my beloved Australia. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another epic Should I Go video adventure. Until next time, cheers mates.